Yes. So first of all, yes, y equals negative 2x plus 1. That is in slope-intercept form. That'll work. Now, y equals 3. That's in slope-intercept form too. Okay? There's no slope to that. All it is 3. Y equals 3. Now, x minus 2y is equal to negative 4. That's not in slope-intercept form. So we don't know what the slope is. So we need to get it in slope-intercept form. Okay? So let's solve for y. I'm going to minus x from both sides. So I have a negative 2y is equal to negative x minus 4. Okay. Lastly, go ahead and divide both sides by negative 2. All right.
Negative 1/2 x plus 2.
Now when you simplify that, that's going to be y equals
1/2 x plus 2.
Thank you, Christian. 1/2 x, negative 4 divided by negative 2 gives you a positive 2. Now that we have our three equations in slope-intercept form, now we can look at the slope and determine if these are parallel or perpendicular. Are they either?
That one is perpendicular.
Why?
That one, that not right there you did, and the one up there, y equals 2x, because it's flipped, it's a reciprocal. It's a positive 1/2 x, and it is flipped 2 over 1. It'd be negative 2 over 1 equals 2x, and so you flip that, and you have to take away
Okay.
the negative, so it'd have to be a positive.
Okay,
1/2.
okay.
Don't
Christian,
matter about the language
Christian,
side.
okay, thank you. Okay, so
They're parallel.
First of all,
Perpendicular.
the three slopes that we have are, for the first one, we have a negative 2 slope. Okay? For the second one, the one we just found, we have a 1/2 slope. Okay? For the third one, there is no slope. So that's a no sloper. Yeah, I just made that up. It's pretty nifty, huh? Yes, that is a no sloper. Okay, so only ones we need to be looking at is 1 and 2. Remember, parallel, they have the same slope, so that's out. We already know that's off. Perpendicular, they have the reciprocals. So 1/2, the reciprocal of 1/2 is equal to negative 2.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reciprocal of negative 2 is equal to 1 over 2.
So they're just trying to throw you off, so they are perpendicular.
So yes, they are perpendicular.
What's
That
the
third
third
don't
one
matter
then?
none though. They're just trying to throw you
Oh,
off.
what do you do with the third one?
The third one, it's no slopes. I mean, you're not even, that's already out. You can already look at that and say, okay, that's out.
They're trying to
That's
throw
not going
you
to be
off.
parallel or perpendicular to one of ours, or the other two. Okay.
I don't think the flip is in. Like you.
Yeah, let's say if we had I'm just making up this slope now. Let's say if we had a positive, our slope is equal to 4, okay? A perpendicular slope for that would be the reciprocal of it, okay? Which would be 1 over 4. First of all, I flipped it, and then make it a negative.
Oh, so it's going like down instead of up.
Yes,
Ooh.
in this case. It's going down instead of up, yes. Because remember, any number, let's say if we add another slope of 2, any number has an imaginary 1 over that. Okay? Remember, when we talk about slope, it's rise over run. So if my slope is equal to 2, I'm going to be going up 2 and over 1. The reciprocal of that is the opposite. You're going to flip it, first of all, and then change the sign. So it would be negative 1 over 2.
I understand how this is so hard.
Not everyone's as bright as you.
All you're doing is flipping the number.
Yeah, guys, really, I mean, so let's say if we had a, don't look at the actual equation, just look at my problem. Let's say if we have a slope of 8. What's the reciprocal of that?
Negative 1 over 8.
Negative 1 over 8. Negative 1 over 8.
Okay, do another one.
I got it.
Yeah, I think you were trying to overthink it.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, just flip it and change the sign.
Every number
I mean-
has an imaginary one.
Like after you did that thing with it.
So after I find the reciprocal of it, is that what you're asking for? So the reciprocal of it's going to be a negative 1 over 8.
Why are we gonna what's the purpose? What is it?
To tell if it's parallel or
To s-
perpendicular.
To see if it's parallel or perpendicular. Remember, perpendicular lines have the reciprocal slopes.
Nowadays, you need to learn this to work in the dark.
Yeah, that's reciprocal.
How do you know if it's switched?
Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we know we're going to have to write an equation in that form. Now, it has to pass through the point -3 and -2. Okay? And it is perpendicular. So we know our slopes are going to be that word called reciprocals. Okay, so it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be flipped, and it's going to be negative. Okay? To the graph of x plus 4y is equal to 12. What form is that?
That's a
Standard. Good job. Now, let's make this easy. Let's first of all put this in slope-intercept form.
It'll be 4 negative.
So, I'm going to minus x from both sides. Okay? So what I have left on the left side is 4y is equal to negative x plus 12. Okay? Last step, divide both sides by 4. Make sure you divide the whole side by 4, though. Okay? So that's going to be, our equation in slope-intercept form is going to be negative 1 over 4x,
How come we're negative? Oh,
okay, plus 12 divided by 4 gives you what?
the 3.
3. Okay, now we have this in slope-intercept form, so now we can easily work with it. Now let's go back to the question. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through -3 and -2 and is perpendicular to the graph. So,
We have to solve it.
if we have to write another equation that goes to that point, what's the slope of that equation going to be if it's perpendicular?
4.
It's going to be 4 over 1, or what?
4.
4. Yes. So we know for our new equation, our slope is going to be equal to 4 because it has to be perpendicular to our first line. Okay? Check, check, check.
Point.
We need to plug in our points so that we can find our y-intercept for our new line. Okay? So, if we have our slope and we have our coordinates, we're just going to plug them in. We have our x, y's up here. We have our x and we have our y. Okay? And we have our slope. So I'm just going to plug in a -2 is equal to 4 times our x, which is -3, plus b. That's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find the last step to it. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just y equals mx plus b.
Okay, so from here I'm going to solve. 4 times -3 gives me -12 plus b is equal to -2.
Negative 14 equals b.
Well, you add 12 to both sides.
Oh, it says 10 equals b.
Yeah. So we have 10 is equal to b.
Then you just write the
Okay. Now we have our slope and we have our b. We have our y-intercept. So now the last thing we need to do is put it in slope-intercept form. So it's going to be y equals 4x plus 10. Now, this equation right here, this line, is perpendicular to our original line. Why?
Because it has an opposite flip slope, a reciprocal slope.
Because if you look at our two equations now we have two equations. We know that just by looking at the slope, they are perpendicular. Because -1 over 4, the reciprocal of it is 4. Okay? So we found a line. We found a line that passes through the point -3 and -2 and is perpendicular to our original one. That's what we just did. Good?